afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I am very pleased to be here to conduct a table topics workshop. And like I said, in September, I was here for the evaluation workshop, but this time we're going to be doing table topics. I love table topics. How about you?
Me too.
You too? Okay. Sometimes you're sitting there quietly minding your own business, eating a delicious meal, and then you hear your name. Feel like you're experiencing a heart attack. You're thinking about running out of the room?
Yes.
You have just been called to answer a table topic question. You didn't even hear the question. Oh my gosh. Your face is turning red. Your heart is racing. Your mind starts turning into a block of ice. You can't think. You can't speak. If you hate this feeling, then this workshop is for you.
Thank you.
So many people are afraid of table topics. I remember many times sitting there in the audience and they're asking the question, I'm praying, oh Lord, please don't let it be me, right? So I have a suggestion for HP and CTBC Bank. Let's just cut table topics out of the agenda. Put it to a vote. Who agrees? Just cut it out. Who disagrees? Okay. Nobody disagrees? Okay. So, why don't we just cut it out? Well, actually, true to HP's motto, if you're going to do something, make it matter. Yes, and for CTBC Bank, we are
family.
Yes. It's family that pops those embarrassing questions on you. Like, when are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids yet? How come your son's not doing so well in school? Okay. But, why do we do table topics? Well, most members hate it, but it's sort of like taking medicine. Because if you want to get better, you realize that you've got to do it. Right? It's sort of a love-hate relationship. But here's some of the benefits of table topics. Number one, it sharpens your skills. Real work skills, real everyday life skills that you will use. Makes you think fast. You have to respond instantly. You've got to develop your thoughts on the run. And then you've got to summarize. These are really useful skills. And their skills can be exercised and developed, even if you don't have them. Now, this is the secret to no fear of table topics, and it's pretty much similar to the one on evaluation. Can you guess what it is? It's just 60 seconds, baby! Everybody say it!
It's just 60 seconds, baby!
No matter how bad it is, if you had to stand up here in your underwear, you could probably do it for 60 seconds, right? No matter how miserable, it's just 60 seconds, baby, to the green flag. That's your goal, is to make it to the green flag. So, let's say you're sitting here, it's table topic session, and you didn't even hear the question. What's my response to you? Shame on you! Why? I want to share a song with you. It goes, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better be ready, 'cause I'm telling you why. Table topics coming to town. Right? When it is table topics time, you've got to have the attitude that anybody is called. And that anybody could be you. Right? So, don't you love it when you're sitting there and your mind is off in la-la land and table topics? Please come and answer the table topics question. Well, if you weren't listening, shame on you, right? Because if you know it's table topics, and you're a Toastmaster, and you're in a Toastmaster meeting, you better start to focus. As soon as table topics start to focus. Turn your brain on, tune in, quit talking to the person next to you, quit checking your Facebook, tune in and focus. Develop your listening habits, okay? And grow some big ears when the table topics master is speaking, so you won't get caught in that embarrassing situation. I don't even know the question. How can I answer it? But once in a while, it happens to you. excuse me, timer, could I have a green flag at 10 minutes? Yellow at 15? Okay.
Okay.
At 10? Okay. So, yes, it could happen to anybody. It's happened to me. And if that happens, just ask the table topics master, please, one more time, can you tell me the question? Okay? But if you're at TGIF, you're in trouble. Because we've got some really tough members, and they'll yell out, just start talking. Shame on you, you didn't hear the question. Just talk anyway. And we have done that. We're bilingual. We've had people who could barely speak Chinese, didn't even know what the question was, but answered the table topics. But, more practically, how do I come up with a fast response? This is where we start learning the skills. Well, number one, remember, a table topics is a mini speech. You've got the regular daddy speech, 5 minutes to 7 minutes. You start with an opening, body, and conclusion. Same thing with the little speech. Opening, body, and conclusion. The opening is like an airplane taking off. Get off with power. Get into your cruise, and then when you're coming in for landing, do a conclusion. So, the initial response, when you get up here, your mind is racing, and you just can't come up with something. Your mind is blank. You don't have the slightest idea even about the subject that's being taught about. Now what? Okay? So remember, your first goal is to open your mouth and get the opening line. All right? Now, I'm going to be teaching you some skills that are not in the regular Toastmasters manual. This is maybe even like a cheat sheet. By the time you're done, you're all going to be table topics cheaters, right? Because I'm going to share with you some secrets. Well, first of all, just to buy some time, when you get up and you don't have anything in mind what to say, start off with Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, okay? And then this is just a courtesy greeting and sort of time to get your mouth open and the words coming out. To buy more time, repeat the question. Okay? When was your first kiss? Well, the question is, when was my first kiss? Okay? And so if you have no idea, at least you're saying something. You're not up there like a block of ice. At the convention in 2011, when I won the Table Topics Championship, the question was, what is my definition of happiness? Okay? To buy more time, have some small talk. Well, you know, I never thought of this. That's a question I have never, ever thought of. Buying more time. Now, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that today. Or even, Toastmaster of the Day, I really wish you didn't ask me that question. And you explain why, right? So now you've gotten to your first line, to your opening. Congratulations! You're on the way. Next thing is to develop your thought. Maybe you can hear some ideas that you can use. Use a quote. Well, my mother used to say about happiness. I saw on a TV show one time, something that's related. I just read a book about happiness. Tell a story. Well, when I was young, my idea of happiness was eating ice cream from 7-Eleven. Okay? Tell a joke. Well, that reminds me of a joke. And maybe recent events, something you heard on the news that's related to what was the question. Okay? So these are different areas where when you're under pressure, what's the first thing that's coming into your mind? And it could be along some of these lines. Now, this is what I call changing the subject. You've been asked a question, you don't have the slightest idea about it. Well, I've never heard of this. In one competition that I was in, the question was, what's your opinion about world food shortages and what you can do about it? Well, lucky for me, I had just seen something on CNN about this, and I thought what I gave was a very intelligent answer. But you know what? The girl who won the championship, she got up. She was sort of overweight. And she said, world food shortages? I have no idea about world food shortages. look at me. Does it look like I'm short of food? And then she said, the only food shortage that I'm aware of is when, during the intermission, we all rushed out for the snacks. And by the time I got there, the food was gone. That was a world food shortage for me. She really had no idea, but she answered it so funny, and she was the first place national champion of table topics. So she took the question and threw it around. Another way is, well, I've never heard about this, so I'm going to answer the previous question. Right? There's no rule. You're not going to get disqualified. You've got to fill the time. So take it, turn and throw. Or, I don't have any opinions about food shortages, but I really have some strong opinions about abandoned pets. Totally change the subject, right? But you are now on your own turf, and you can fill up the time. Fair enough? Mm-hmm. Or maybe the experienced members are going, In football, they call this the stiff arm. Someone's coming to attack you, and you hold out your arm stiff, and they take the impact on the face, and you keep on going towards your goal. So, if they asked you a really embarrassing question, what was your most embarrassing date? Say, well, that is something so painful, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you about a good date. Okay? So, you could even answer with a question. Right? What is your opinion about the coming presidential election? Well, Toastmaster today, my question to you is, why are you asking that? What are your motives? Turn it around, stiff arm them. Here's a real life application. The I ask you, what did you like about your last girlfriend? It just so happens your real girlfriend is sitting in the room. Oh my gosh, what do you do? Well, I said, well, why don't I tell you what I like about my current girlfriend who's sitting right here? Okay? So you can be creative. You have ways to skirt the question, change the subject, and of course, the easiest thing, if you do have an opinion about the subject you're talking about, you've got opening to start, grab the audience's attention, the body, where you're explaining it out, and then the conclusion. When you start seeing the yellow flag, you should start getting ready to wind it down. We'll talk about that later. More different approaches. There's a serious approach, very intelligent. You feel confident on the subject, and your challenge is to compress it down into a maximum of 2.5 minutes. Okay? And this is great in a meeting. If a boss asks you, what's your current situation with this sales promotion? And you weren't prepared, but on the fly. Well, thank you, boss. That's a great question. This is some of the things we've been doing over this past 3 days. And you present that. And in conclusion, boss, I think we're on a good path to success. Maybe in another week I'll have more to tell you. Okay? But this is real life skills, whether you're in doing table topics here, or in work, or answering a tough question from your girlfriend. You can be humorous, okay? Take the humorous approach. That reminds me of a joke. I have a really funny story that happened to me exactly about my worst vacation. Okay? Take a humorous, tie in recent events, make it relevant. Maybe even relevant to a certain person in the audience. Right? Who do you think is the most intelligent person you've ever met? Well, I'm glad to tell you that the person that I know is sitting right here. This is Connie, and this is why she is so intelligent. What you read, what you saw, what you did. Quotes from different people. Obama once said the famous words when he became president. Yes, we can. Everybody say it with me.
Yes, we can.
So, pick up things like that. Storytelling, something that you're passionate about. There are some things that you think a lot about, and it's always in your resident memory. You can always talk about it. try to get into that type of subject that may be related. And finally, what we said, totally avoid the question. Turn it around. So, here we are. There's many ways to get from one place to another. There's no set way for table topics. We have 15 minutes now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, then finally you've got to come to the conclusion. Wrap it up. Take a run down memory lane. Today, I just talked to you about my favorite food. Mia Cucina Italian vegetarian restaurant. You've seen how my favorite dish is there. You now know the reason why I like the ambience. So I hope that you will take the chance to go visit this restaurant, Table Topics Master. Okay? And you always conclude giving it back to the Table Topics Master. It's sometimes very hard to remember, but when you get up for table topics, remember the last thing you want to say is Table Topics Master. Okay. No, not yet. Let's talk about time. Your first goal, for those of you that are beginners, usually the challenge is to get to the 1 minute. Seems like forever. For some of you that are more experienced, you're going to have trouble on the other end. Keeping it within 2.5 minutes. So, try to get there because it's just
60 seconds.
60 seconds, baby. When you get to the yellow flag, that means that you're at 1.5 minutes. You have 30 seconds to the red flag. So you might be in the middle of what you're doing, but you have an idea. I better start drawing things to a close and getting ready for my conclusion. And when you see the red flag, that means you have 30 seconds left. Let me ask you, in Chinatrust and HP, do you have a bell that rings?
Yep.
HP? No? I highly recommend the bell. At TGIF, if you are in mid-sentence, we expect you to stop. No grace there. Just when that bell goes, stop. And I tell you, for your clubs, it will really make you better speakers. Because when you're up there and you have the most valuable thing that you wanted to say and you didn't get to do it, you will start remembering. Keep it tight. Keep on my time track. It will make you a better speaker. When that bell rings, I highly suggest making a practice to stop right there. And the same thing for table topics. So this is just a visual. This is about half your time. Then you have 30 seconds before the red flag. When the red flag comes up, 30 seconds to D-Day. To shut up. So, the wrap up on this. There's value in table topics. It's just
60 seconds.
60 seconds, baby. When it starts, focus, tune in, because you better watch out. You better not cry. You better be ready, because I'm telling you why. Table topics coming to town. All right, so you focus in, have an opening, body, and conclusion. I've taught you tricks on how to buy time, develop your thought.